And Zoom, and Netflix, and others are already saying they're seeing spikes in their usage. Huh?
How?
They're streaming live on YouTube.
Cool.
Quick question. With none of the applicants here, typically they're here for their own meetings. Okay. Call to order the BCA meeting for March 19th. Mr. Beard, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Shipley,
Here.
Mr. Boyd,
Here.
Mr. Miller,
Here.
Mr. Trev.
Here.
First application will be for VA 2001 or 02, Heather Wiedner.
Right. The applicant owner is Heather Winder, the agent is May Smith. The site is 1771 Marigold Street, parcel ID number of 318-240-46-010-000. It's zoned single family plan residential district. They're seeking an area variance from rezoning application 12451, Estates of Glen Oak, to allow the construction of a garage that will encroach in the side yard setback in an area zone single family plan residential district. The subject property is located north of Marigold Street, just west of Primrose Avenue. The site is owned by Heather Wiedner. She is requesting to allow the construction of a third car garage that will encroach in the side yard setback. The surrounding area to the north, a single family plan residential district, that's open space for the Glen Oak HOA. South, east, and west are all single family plan residential districts, all have single family homes. In your staff report, you have the zoomed out aerial of the site and the zoomed in aerial of the site. On the staff review, the area variance is from rezoning case 12451, Estates of Glen Oak development data table. It shows the setbacks. The side yard setback is 12.5 feet, 25 between buildings. The applicant has requested to allow the construction of a third car garage that will encroach in the side yard setback 2.5 feet. A variance of 2.5 feet is requested. You have exhibit 1, it's the final as-built survey. It shows the current layout. Exhibit 2 is the site plan of the proposed third car garage. Exhibit 3 is the staff confirming that the plans were scaled, showing that it was 10 feet to the edge of their proposed site. We have a couple site photos that were included.
Mr. Beard, is any of the neighbors been in touch with you in regards to concerns, whether they are in favor of it, not in favor of it?
We had one neighbor that was concerned. I'd give you a packet tonight. The first image is for is what our GIS specialist did, showing where the dotted line is where the setback line is. And the green is where the proposed garage is. So it shows the 2 feet or 2.5 feet that it'll be in. So it shows the 10 feet setback. We provided an email that we received from one of the neighbors that said the concern was the new structure, the lot size wasn't planned for the third car garage. That other homes were built with 3-car garages were different placements on the lot. This neighbor is on the east side. It was on the opposite side of the house of where the garage is going to go. And then we received a letter from the agent giving some more clarification on why they're seeking the third car garage. And that was provided to you if you want to look at that. And I do have, if we have questions for the agent or the homeowner, we do have their phone number that we can call. If not, possibly I could answer some of the questions. If, you know,
And I read the email from the neighbor also, who mentions that the mentioning of having other 3-car garages in Glen Oaks, leverage for that is flawed because those properties, those houses are set up different. So they maintain the 25 feet between buildings, 12.5 feet to the property line. So I guess the question I would have, is there a precedent within Glen Oaks? Have we approved any other variances, similar variances that we're aware of?
not that I'm aware of. There is still, it will still be more than 25 feet between structures.
Right.
To that house to the west. There still will be more than the 25 feet combined, even with the variance.
One thing that I'm looking, the applicant is already the property owner. And in the letter from May's Home Building, it said that it's stating that it's going to have undue stress if forced to move. And because of financial burden, moving incurs a person as well as a mother to have an underlying health condition that would birth be impossible. This was known when they bought the house, that it had a 2-car garage.
I'm not aware of the mother, because it appears the mother is living with them now. I'm not sure if the mother was living with them when they bought the house. I'm not sure. The other occupant there that they stated, I'm not sure if they were there when they bought the house or if they've moved in since they've developed health issues.
Jeff, are you aware of any other homes with that same lot size with a 3rd-car garage?
They mentioned in their letter that there's one pretty much across the street. I believe it's at 12.5 feet from the property line. It's got the 3rd-car garage set up pretty much the same, but it was most likely was done when it was built.
Right.
And it states in here in the letter that there is 3 houses with 1789, 1738, 1756 that have 3-car garages.
Yeah, and that is on their street.
Right.
On that street.
Were all the lots equal in frontage?
I don't believe so.
Because there's 2 across the street from them. That kind of looks like they've got driveways which go up to a 3rd car. And that lot is certainly wider than their lot.
How old is this subdivision? You have any idea? My reason for asking is that the lots are 80 feet wide, and most of the houses now are being built on lots at least 85 foot.
The plat was approved in 2009.
And you said that 25 feet between, even with an approval, 25 feet would remain between the properties, between house to house.
Any other questions from the board? Comments? it appears that the house, or the people that are requesting this, right next door to them is a three car. Based on the angle of the driveway, to the left. Well, yes, to the right,
Right.
if
If
you're looking at
right.
it from the front.
Yeah.
So the extension would be opposite the garage on that side. And I know the answer to this, Jeff. I'm going to ask you anyway. So there was no communication from the neighbor on the west side.
No.
I have a question. It's the justifications, number two. Two families, one needed space for multiple workbenches, 3 cars, and one. Are they running a business out of the garage?
Not that I'm aware of.
I didn't get that out of that. It sounded like they were some family moving in with them.
Yeah, but multiple workbenches?
Right.
I hate to admit this, I have multiple benches in my
Yeah,
garage.
as do I.
It's oversized by design.
And they took that, the length of the house is 38 feet, so there's a lot of room to the back.
It's
But
actually, yeah, it's almost a 2-car garage.
yeah, tandem almost.
And could they build a storage facility within the setback and put relocate their workbenches from the front garage and leave 1 car out?
That may be an issue for the HOA, that they may not be allowed to have outbuildings.
Right.
Well, I'm not saying an outbuilding, I'm saying attached as is, but instead it's 2.5 feet shorter. They could put the benches and other storage down that length and still have a lot more room in the current garage and have a pull-off to the side, which appears to be in quite a few of these. And there's obviously at the time the picture was taken, there's cars or something sitting in 2 of them. And that's probably a Google thing, isn't it?
That's from the auditor's side.
Well, I understand.
Any other questions or comments? Anybody want to make a motion up or down? Mr. Beard, do you know what the distance is between the houses?
Off the top of my head. You mean right now or with the variance?
What the variance?
I believe it's at least 27. From the auditor's side, which is
The bulk of it being the neighbor's yard.
The agent's letter states that since there's an insufficient place to park and store a third vehicle, this would cause street parking to occur, which an inconvenience can be for neighbors. Do we know what that means? I'm not really sure what they're referring to there.
I know if they try to park a second car, it blocks the sidewalk. So I know their HOA has been strict with that, so I'm sure they don't want the sidewalk blocked, so they make them park on the street.
Is there street parking restrictions on the street?
Not that I'm aware of. And we can call the homeowner or the contractor if you guys wish.
I agree. I keep trying to understand the inconvenience for neighbors. If you're driving down the street, you see a car parked on the side of the street in front of somebody's house, you automatically go around and wait your turn if oncoming cars are coming.
Yeah, I'm looking for the practical hardship that the applicant is trying to make a case for. And I'm just having difficulty, that's why I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing anything here.
That's why I asked about the size of the lot. People are small, go around, that one.
So it appears, on the plat, it's 80 feet in frontage, 80 feet wide.
Is that common for all of them in that area?
On that side of the street, most of them are 80. There are, the one next to the west is 78.
One to the left is 78, but he's still got,
Well, it's 78 on the back. They don't have what's listed in the front. Up here, it's probably 80 in the front. But the back property. Even though it's all 80 on the front, on the street front.
What is the width of a standard size garage? Single car?
Single car garage, that's pretty standard. Single car. Yeah, that's pretty standard, I think. Yeah.
Would you rather speak to the contractor or the homeowner? So they can state their case.
I would rather talk to the homeowner if we're gonna call, because the person that's gonna build it's gonna have every reason to wanna build it for their economic gain. I was very lucky when I built my house. My garage door is 20 feet wide instead of 16. My driveway is 22 feet wide.
Yeah, that's handy.
Hello, this is Heather. Hi, this is Jeff from Township. Hey, the board wants to ask you some questions. Okay, I'm gonna put you on speaker. Alright, you're on speaker now.
Heather, would you state your name, please? And your address. Thank you. Couple of questions. The reason for the request, insufficient place to work and park and store a third vehicle. Do you typically keep both vehicles or two vehicles in the garage and one in the driveway? And your request, or your statement that there are multiple workbenches, the motorcycle and so on. How deep is your garage or wide? Questions from the board?
In the, application, you said two families join need space for multiple workbenches. Could you describe multiple workbenches and why? Jeremy? What's your last name, please? Thank you.
And your address, please?
That's okay, we needed where you're at. What is the need for the multiple workbenches? So, Jeremy, in the house that we're talking about, is there room for the workbenches in front of the cars that would be parked in the garage? And she still drives? I'm sorry, could you say that again? Just the need for the storage, I understand that she's gonna be living with you, but what? Okay,
Is it the plan to park all three cars in the garage? That's a long garage.
So Jeremy, what is the, if you cannot put a garage there, what's your answer to that? What's plan B? Okay.
Any other questions from the board?
yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
I'm gonna keep you guys on the phone just in case they have other questions or anything else comes up.
Sounds like you.
Precedent.
I asked that, that's why I asked, when we first started with, if there was precedent. If there's not, we set one.
Well, every case is supposed to be looked at separately.
Yes, it is.
anyways, even if there are
Yeah.
some
And that's, I just went through, absolutely, Jeff, I just went through the analysis piece, kind of go through those, where we stand with those, and what we meet with regards to those.
And I understand, there's 3-car garages at other houses, including directly across the street.
Right.
But those evidently were built when the house was built. So they were
Right.
in there when they were built.
Right.
I agree that the concern of setting precedent, especially in lots that are narrow, as well as this is going to be a one big man cave. Questions or comments?
I agree.
Can I add one thing to this?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, so currently we have the current structure to the property. So with the 10-foot garage added, we still have 10 feet to our property line plus. I know that this property owner is their current structure. So the space is a concern. If there's space, I know it's 12 and a half foot variance, so.
The concern is the setback. There may be 40 feet on the other side, that's immaterial, it's the 10 foot you're leaving when it should be 12 and a half.
With typical garages at 20 feet wide, and that's total, you could build an 8-foot and it still would have the room of a typical 3-car garage.
If you're not happy with what the variance, then it's 7.5 foot left.
That's right. Who's at 10, they need to take 2.5 off of it.
Then Chair, make a motion.
So we looked through
Sorry?
we said, well, if we look through when determining the variance piece, special conditions, contrary to public interest, those kinds of things. Just,
The home is hardship.
then you bring the family together, mother that's there. I could certainly understand wanting some extra space to get things off the street and out of the driveway and out of the yard and those kinds of things. The question is, do we, plan B is, move, sell,
Park on the street.
park on the street for 2.5 feet.
Is there an estimate for the cost of adding this garage?
27, and these are 27.5.
When I first looked at that house, I thought something was missing. So there would be something.
Questions?
Okay.
No.
I'm sorry?
27.8.
If this is approved and 5 years from now, whatever, do you think that you could recoup that 27,000 if you, were to sell your house?
So the majority of this is gonna be paid for right off the top of the pad. Then, yeah, once we get this garage, we're gonna have to be here for quite a long time. My daughter's she's going into the seventh grade, so the plan would be to stay put until at least she's graduated out of high school. So another 8 to 10 years of right here in the area.
That means another car coming soon.
Just my personal opinion on the matter, having reviewed everything, I understand the concerns that's been stated, and I appreciate the homeowner and her fiance taking the time to explain what their concerns are as well. But having read through the letter and the consequence of the hardship or lack thereof from my read, I would not be inclined to move forward with the variance.
Do you care to make that as a motion?
Yes, I'll make that as a motion. Motion to not approve this application.
There's been a motion for VA 2002 to decline the application.
Now we had a motion by Mr. Boyd to deny variance application VA 20-02. Second by Mr. Trev, for the voting, Mr. Boyd,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Shipley,
Yes.
Mr. Trev.
Yes.
That motion carries, the variance was denied. Your variance was denied, you wanna, we'll send out a letter, stating this. If you have any questions, you can contact me tomorrow if you wish. Okay? Yeah, good, thank you.
The next application is VA 2003.
Variance case BA 20-03, applicant owner is Epcon Clear Creek LLC. The site is Daymark Drive. Parcel ID number 318-230-16004-000. It's a zone single family plan residential district. Seeking an area variance from rezoning application zone -18-02 Clear Creek Epcon SFPRD to allow for modifications to the approved entry sign in an area zone single-family plan residential district. The subject property is located north of Daymark Drive and west of Gideon Boulevard. It's owned by Epcon Clear Creek LLC. They're requesting modifications to an approved entry sign in an area zone single-family plan residential district. To the north, south, and east are all, well, north and south is single-family plan residential district. It's vacant land right now. East is plain commercial and office district. It's vacant as of now. To the west is single-family plan residential district, and there's a house that's currently under construction. You have a zoomed-out aerial and a zoomed-in aerial of the site. The staff review, you were given the entry feature sign for rezoning case zone -18-02 Clear Creek Epcon single family plan district. The applicant has requested to allow for the construction of an entry sign that will vary from the design of the approved entry sign. The sign will be constructed in the same location, same dimensions, and same setback as approved in the development text. The variance they are seeking is for the design of the sign, of which the colors are different, and the design of the sign face. Exhibit 1 is the approved development plan sign design, which states that the gold lettering with the black background and the gold band. Then exhibit 2 is the proposed sign design, as the colors are, and it has a different logo, different layout of the words, the courtyard, and Clear Creek. Exhibit 3 is the site plan of the sign location, 16 feet back from the setback, which is what was approved in the development plan. They have a couple site photos showing that there's construction going on in the location that is looking from the Daymark, looking north to where the sign would be. That's all I have. The applicant has provided his phone number if you guys have questions for him as well.
So the only thing changing on this, Jeff, the absolute only thing changing is the wording, the picture, and the color on the sign.
Yes.
The size doesn't change, so it's already approved. The only thing they're doing is changing the look of the sign. From gold to black, to blue to white, or whatever color that is, and a little different wording on the sign.
Yeah.
So, do we know the waters?
40.
40.
Thank you. I thought I saw it, but I couldn't find it.
But all of that's already approved.
Right.
All of that's all, the only thing that's changing is the basis. I did say 40 watt in there, but I looked at that too before I realized it had already been approved.
I'll make a motion. Any questions?
No.
questions?
None.
I'll make this simple. I'll make a motion for VA 2003 to approve the graphics, which is basically a lettering and color change. The wattage, etc., is correct, and the Kelvin is correct. So I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made by Mr. Miller to approve variance case VA-20-03, seconded by Mr. Shipley. Those voting, Mr. Boyd,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Shipley,
Yes.
Mr. Travis.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next order is the approval of minutes from the February 20th, 2020 BZA hearing. I provided a list of the corrections that were submitted to me, and what corrections that I had noticed.
I have an additional correction.
I sent you my corrections.
Yeah, I checked them, so the ones that were possible.
Right. I wanted to see what I missed.
Did you double check to see if bazillion was really
Yep.
a legal word?
Yep, and that is exactly what was said in the meeting.
Okay.
Listen to the recording.
Any other questions or comments from the board? I'll make a motion to approve the February 20th, 2020 minutes per the corrections.
Motion by Mr. Miller to approve February 20th, 2020 BZA minutes as amended, second by Mr. Travis. Mr. Boyd,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Shipley,
Yes.
Mr. Travis.
Yes.
I have one other item. We did get notice. We do have 2 hearings that were applied for the April BZA hearing. We did talk to the county prosecutor's office. And it provided clarification on Ohio's open meetings law. The Board of Zoning Appeals can unanimously decide whether or not to table the application with or without the consent of the applicant, due to the given circumstances with the health epidemic. So it is up to you. We have options of postponing it or trying to do a virtual meeting. We're in the process of trying to set up a program to do virtual meetings. If applicants for zoning commission want to be heard, they have to be heard, so theirs is a little different than ours. But this will be up to the board to decide what you guys want to do with April.
Personally, I don't want to deter progress. I think that we are getting a good handle from a medical standpoint. We are abiding by the distancing, domestic distancing, what do you call it? And as long as the health and well-being of the board is good, I personally would rather see the meetings move forward.
I agree. I think we can make every attempt to, in some form or fashion.
Microphone. The reason why we're even bringing this up is because if this pandemic does enhance and there's the circumstance that none of us are even allowed to be in this room, we need to have the virtual setup of some kind. Is everyone familiar with Zoom meetings or?
I'm familiar. Yeah,
okay.
what's your timeline for getting?
I mean, we can get it pretty set up in the next few days. We didn't have time to do that for tonight, which is why we asked you all to be here, and thank you for doing that. But what we would do is we would send you a link to join the meeting, and then we will have staff present here to make sure the YouTube is streamed, and then the streaming will be shared on the screen showing who's online and what we're reviewing and discussing. So if the board is comfortable with that, and I agree with Mr. Miller, let's keep the progress going, because May could be 10 cases, so. But the opinion that we got from the county prosecutor's office does give the BZA the choice to table these applications or not. So that's all I have to say.
Will they, in futures, if we do have to go electronic, would the availability of the digital board be made? Or there was talk of tablets for us to use for some of these meetings, if necessary?
So the tablets, I haven't revisited that since all this has happened. Tablets we would originally wanted to keep in the office so you could review the plans electronically. I'll have to talk to the trustees and see if there's any liability with having board members taking those home to review plans. We haven't gotten to that.
Or if we could use our own tablets and you would provide.
The link we send you is a Google link, so anybody can access it.
Okay.
I already accessed the Google Docs.
Right.
That shouldn't be a problem.
Now, if any of the board members don't have a tablet, a computer, or Wi-Fi at home, then we're going to have to revisit some other options. But I'm assuming hopefully everybody does have.
I think we're technologically
Right.
okay.
Just checking.
My reason for asking about the board is one of the first applicant, for an example, if we would have the ability to do a Google Earth live Zoom, that would have helped a little bit from a determination standpoint of distance between houses and so on visually.
So I think what we could do is we could plug in our laptop to the smartboard screen, which everybody would be able to see, and we can do a Google Zoom in the middle of it if that's.
I think that would be helpful.
All you have to do is share
the screen, and we'll do that. Because when Jeff's reviewing the staff report, we'll share that and make sure that everybody can see it, including the people that would be watching it on YouTube.
I think that would be very helpful.
Okay.
Reading things is one thing, studying things on a piece of paper is one thing, but when you have visual capability, it enhances things.
I think this might also be a good model, if you recall, when we were talking about using the prosecutor's office for legal advice. One of the concerns that arose was out-of-state applicants and asking them to come in again. So if we have a situation arise like that, we have a good technology platform to allow the applicant to attend, and perhaps that will help to sort of mitigate that inconvenience.
And fortunately, Orange Township is pretty ahead in the game. We've already have this YouTube streaming set up with the trustee meeting, so, and we have the system, or the software and the equipment to really set it up, so we'll be in good terms, but just wanted to ask the board for next month's meeting, because we need to tell the applicants how we're gonna proceed.
Good.
There's just consensus, no pressure. Thank you.
And the next meeting is the 16th?
Yes.
This
Any
will
other-
also allow other alternates to be available at the last minute.
Any other comments or questions or statements from the board? Meeting adjourned.
Thanks, sir.
Okay. I'm gonna leave this here for you so you don't touch.